It's Friday. It's time for Feel Good Friday, episode 45. And for people who follow me, like in India, like Nishant or Bernadette in the Philippines, just to give you an idea of what a beautiful day it is in Canada, it is minus 33 degrees. I've just shoveled my sidewalk, and you're more than welcome to come pay a visit anytime you want. But all kidding aside, my theme today is think twice before being nice. Isn't that a Christmassy sort of theme? This is going to be yet another softball umpire story. And in the softball umpire story, I compare them a lot to fishermen. Every fisherman has that story about the biggest fish they caught, how incredible it was that they caught it. And each year that fish gets bigger and bigger and the story gets more and more incredible. And so it is with softball umpires. We all have that call that, my God, only we could have made, and every year that call gets even better. My story goes back to not a Canadian championship or anything. It was sea-level ball. These players, I don't know if they caught COVID-19. They may have been able to do that, but they certainly couldn't catch a ball very good. It's one of those games where you're just hoping that you can get through it. But they're having fun, and that's the whole idea, is to facilitate fun. And that was what was going on. And the one team that I was umpiring, the owner of the team, if you will, was the father of about 3 or 4 of the players and even the grandfather of a few of them. He was playing softball in his early 70s, just out of pure passion for the game, and it's wonderful to watch. But about 2/3 of the way through the game, he was playing third base, and a ball popped up in the sky, and he collapsed. Now, it was a hot and muggy day, and he quickly became conscious again, but we took him off, we put him on the bench, and we just carried on. About an inning and a half later, it was his turn to bat. His color, his skin came back, he looked pretty good, and the granddaughter said, "No, Grandpa, please don't do it." But the team says to me, "It's okay, we'll let him bat." I remember very distinctly saying to him, "It may be okay for you, I'm not letting him bat." And I went to the other team and I arranged that they wouldn't take an automatic out. We carried on. One of the comments I heard in the background was, "That's not very nice. They could have let him bat." I'm an umpire. I've been called a lot worse than not nice. But for some reason, I just didn't want to be nice on that occasion. But there you go. That is the best call I ever made. And it's funny because quite often I come home and talk about the game with my wife, because if I shared softball stories, she'd usually sleep better that night. Next day at work, there's several softball players. We'd always talk about scenarios. And especially in the lower quality ball, these people are doing some of the bizarrest things, and you have to be on top of your rules. In fact, I never talked about my greatest call for about 2.5 months later. It wasn't until I was umpiring this team again. And the gentleman that I would not allow to bat came up to me and said, "Blue, I probably owe you my life." Wow. He said 4 hours later, after the game, he was in the Grey Nuns Hospital experiencing a heart attack. And that what happened to him earlier in that game was the beginning stages. If I had allowed him to bat and he ran at the top of his energy level, he may well have died. Thank goodness I wasn't nice. As we go through life, sometimes it's easy to do the nice thing because we all want peace and harmony. And I am not in any way, shape, or form trying to tell you not to be nice. But please, don't hesitate to think twice. Have a great week.